My dear Bagginses and Buffins.
By the blood of our people, are your lands kept safe?
I see in your eyes the same fear that will take the heart of me.
So do all who live to see such times.
By all that you hold dear, this good earth.
There's some good in this world, and it's worth fighting.
Welcome back, everyone. We are talking about Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power. I told you we'd be back, and we are back in full swing. We have got our revisit of Season 1 coming up. But just before that, I wanted to talk about Season 2, as we now have kind of a date. We know it's going to be fall 2024. So we know we are a little under a year out, I should say. And so, with that, here's an article, The Rings of Power Season 2 Wish List, 10 things we want to see. So I'm curious if any of these are on my wish list as well as yours. So leave them down below if you agree with this list or if you agree with some of ours. So let's kick it off with the Forging of the Other Rings of Power. I think it's a given. Like, we need to see this.
Yeah, that's gonna come up.
Especially because Sauron is supposed to be involved in some capacity again, and he's not there anymore. So, how are they gonna bring him back? We know he's a shapeshifter, so like there's a lot that requires Sauron, and he needs to be present.
Maybe they scared off Sauron too soon.
Right, like that's why everyone was so confused. Why not only did they reveal who Sauron was? I know they said they were going to reveal Sauron because they didn't want this mystery hanging over both Season 1 and Season 2. Season 1 was supposed to be the mystery. It wasn't much of a mystery. We're going to get to that. I have a huge brain blast moment in my rewatch of Episode 1. But everyone kind of picked Sauron out almost right away. He needs to come back, though. If they don't bring him back, they are completely changing it, and we're getting basically fan fiction, which we already kind of are feeling a little bit like that's what we're getting. So if they bring him back, they start getting back on track, I think fans will get on board again.
But it would just be kind of silly to just bring him back in a different form, wouldn't it?
Well, that's what I mean. Like, how are they going to do it that's satisfactory?
Because I'm kind of like, I don't know, maybe other people don't care, but I kind of want them to keep the Halbrand guy going, and Halbrand is Sauron. I like if they keep the same actor guy for this instead of him just coming back as a different thing.
Well,
Anatar.
Yeah, so I
Anatar
agree.
is-
I think the actor is doing a good job, so I think they should bring him back. I just don't know how else you do it unless he somehow infiltrates. I know the dwarves are working on this forge, so maybe he infiltrates the dwarves and through them is able, like, he has to have some input into the rings because that's ultimately how that plays out. Unless they're gonna say that by him helping make the first 3 rings, that's his input.
But the first 3 are supposed to be not corrupt, right? Isn't that a thing?
Right. That's why it was.
Yeah.
That's why I'm so strange that they made these 3 rings only with it. Like, they could have just made all of them, I guess, in one go.
Because those are the 3 that are not supposed to be created by him.
That's right.
aren't they?
So he didn't create, because he didn't create these. He left before they were created. He helped the idea of how you would capture the magic in the rings, but he didn't actually make these ones. He should be making the other ones with them. Like, he should be doing something anyway. So yeah, I agree with this. This needs to be in it at some point. Maybe not Season 2. It needs to be in the show though, at some point. So I guess I'm a maybe because I said maybe not Season 2. I'm fine with Season 2 being a little bit more slower paced and like really fleshing out like what's going on with Sauron and like his followers of orcs and humans. Like, he's building that army up. Galadriel is trying to get back in the good books of the elves. The dwarves have cool stuff. Like, I'm fine slowing it down and exploring those places a bit more. Number 9, flashbacks to Elrond's family history. I don't know. I'm not saying no. I don't know if I care.
No,
Uh,
I mean I think it's enough. I mean I think we got enough of it anyway. It was kind of explained.
and we have
Or did,
enough.
or did, or did I just hear background info? I don't from other places. I
No, no,
don't
no.
know.
Like there's this photo, and they talk about it, a little bit. I don't know if we need that though. So Elron is not. He's forging his own path as well. We don't need him to relate it to his brother. Like we already relate to Elrond because he's an established character, and he's kind of taken up the mantle of Legolas, in a way. I
You're right, I don't think it's important. I
no,
don't think so.
no. But if you guys do, leave it in the
I mean, you
comments.
could do it. You could do a different series that covers that, but I
Right.
don't think we need that here.
Right, exactly. I'm fine without it. But if you guys think it's required, explain why down below. I'm really curious. Maybe we're wrong. I just think right now the Elrond character they have going is one of the stronger parts of the show. So I would leave it. Answers about Celeborn and Celebrian.
Yeah, we need that.
We do. Um, we've had hints at it because Galadriel said her husband's dead.
He is mentioned, yeah. So we need to know, like, well, we know he's not dead, obviously. Unless maybe this is a totally different timeline, and he is dead.
Is there resurrection in this universe? Is he? If so, will we accept it?
You live a half-life, a cursed life.
Yeah, and he does because he doesn't have any speaking roles in the original. No, he does have a speaking role. He gets a few lines in. This needs to be answered. Maybe not in season 2. Again, people want to rush a lot of these things. Galadriel just got back with Sauron, made some rings. She's still causing the trouble that she was sent away to prevent. So, we have to deal with that first. We can't just have her gallivanting around looking for her husband. Okay, we need to start reestablishing what the heck the elves are up to here. Are the elves, for example, one of my things, instead of answers about this right away, one of my problems of season 2 is the elves have withdrawn from a lot of the different areas of Middle Earth because they felt like there wasn't anything left to deal with. They now know that's not true. So are they going to send elves back out to patrol all those realms to try to find Sauron? Or are they going to withdraw and just defend their own homeland, thus setting up a very similar issue to the original trilogy, which is all these groups being isolationist, which eventually backfire. So that's I'm more concerned about that. I think that's a better story to start telling than just dealing with Galadriel and Celeborn. So I want him in the show, just I don't know if season 2 is necessarily when he has to make an appearance.
Yeah, it's for future, not necessarily
Yeah.
season 2, I would say. Okay, the Nazgul. Yeah, that's got to come up at some point.
And
again, I don't know about season 2, but that seems more closer to the finale.
Yeah, I was going to say that kind of seems like it's the end part. Because the humans that get the rings, they don't just instantly become Nazgul. They slowly descend into madness and then become Nazgul. So, yeah, I don't know if this needs to happen in season 2. This is starting to be like things they want in the show overall. We might see the ideas of it though. With Theo, right? So Theo, has been possessed by this sword to some degree. He might start to exhibit traits that hint at this. He doesn't have to become a Nazgul right away. Also, can he become? So the Nazgul are all adults.
They're all kings.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
But they're all adults, right? Like I would assume they're all adult. Maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong. Because of the intro of the original trilogy, they show them all being adults. I just assumed that's true.
Yeah, they're like, yeah, I see what you're saying.
So if he becomes a Nazgul when he's young, does he age as a Nazgul? Like, does he grow up and become a king as a Nazgul? Like, it's...
Well, Well, I don't think you become a Nazgul right away. Like, I think these guys were like human kings for a
That's
while.
what I'm saying. So like we can't
Like
have Nazguls right away.
I mean, they didn't just turn on the ring, put on the rings, and become Nazgul. This is like a centuries process.
That's exactly how my what I'm thinking too. So like
Yeah.
if you start Theo when he's younger, maybe he grows up, becomes king, all the while slowly becoming more and more corrupted, and eventually becoming a Nazgul. But he can't just like become. He can't just start putting on cloaks and running around like this. All right.
Antar and other Sauron forms aside from Halbrand. Yeah,
Yeah.
I prefer them keep Halbrand, but I mean maybe they do it properly because I guess that's something I guess they probably want to make clear is that Sauron does have this shapeshifting
Right.
ability.
And I do think that this needs to be in season 2. So they've already established he's Sauron, but I think they just need to show us something because right now we've got nothing. Like Sauron.
Like okay, hear me out. So think of T Terminator 2.
Right.
Like that guy, the liquid metal Terminator. He can be anyone he wants, but he always goes back to
Yeah.
that one cop from the beginning.
Yeah.
Let's make Sauron like that. He can be anything he wants, but he always turns back into Halbrand.
Fully agree. 100%. This actor, we've already established him. It's a good way of just when no one's around, letting us know we're with Sauron. So I like that. But I do think we need to see something from Sauron. We haven't seen anything, which is why the first season was a quote unquote mystery, even though it really couldn't be anyone else. As much as I wanted Waldrig, it really couldn't be anyone else. There's no way Sauron is going to be a tavern owner for like 100 years or whatever as he plots his next move. Anyway, yeah, so I'm with you on that. Has to always go back to this actor.
Barad-dûr being built in Mordor.
I don't know the timeline on when this gets built. I could see this happening. I could see at least the foundation starting. Again, I don't care as much about establishing these things in season 2 as I do more about the political, cultural drop off from everything that's happened. So like Numenor came and fought with some humans against orcs. That backfired. The elves made some rings with Sauron. That might backfire. The dwarves are still doing their own stuff. And that could be like there's a lot of stuff that's happening that needs to be resolved. And if they resolve all of it so quickly, I would not be happy. Like some of these are cool ideas that need to be explored more. Not just, oh, Numenor is now, good with everything. Like, no, Numenor is going through their own power struggle right now. Like, we've got a lot of stuff to focus on. We can see the foundations of this being built, sure, but I don't want the whole episode to be him, like, trying to build this thing. He needs to go do other stuff. So, this is more like an end game thing for me as well. Answers about the stranger and other Istari?
Yeah, I think so. We gotta find out.
I think we need something. I think you're right. We need something about the stranger, right? It doesn't have to be. He doesn't have to say, "My name's Gandalf, and I come back to you now at the turn of the." He doesn't have to say that. He has to say something, right? He has to do something. Like he can't just be, "Oh, I still don't know who I am and what's going on." Like we need something here. We need something.
I kind of like the idea if we see an uncorrupted Saruman, and then that can make us like feel really sad.
I agree. I think we may have talked about this before, but I agree with you. I think that's a really good way of, again, what I wanted this show to be was an introductory to Lord of the Rings, so people would then go watch the original trilogy. I want you to feel some carryover from these characters. So we have Galadriel, we have Elrond, and if this is Saruman, I think that's a great segue to show, hey, he used to actually appreciate Hobbit-like people. He used to be a gentle person, a gentle wizard. He wasn't always this corrupted because even in the Hobbit trilogy, he's already slightly corrupted, right? Like he's already got this.
He's already bad there.
He's already got this like shiftiness. I don't know if they told him to do that, or if he just if the actor just decided, you know what, I'm corrupted in this one too. Like, I don't know what is going on there, but he's already kind of evil the way he talks. Maybe that's just the actor. He can't get away from it. Like, I would love to see a Star Wars movie about Count Dooku when he was good. That might be
Well,
fun.
you know what? They've been doing that in some of it's been cartoons, but they did uh I think they call it Tales of the Jedi. It's on Disney Plus, and they do go into like Dooku in his earlier life,
Oh, cool.
and how he starts to get disillusioned, and then eventually gets seduced by the dark side. It's good. It
Oh,
is
that
good.
sounds like a good show. I wish they would make that instead of whatever else they're making right now. I have not paid attention, so you'll have to catch me up later. I still have Andor to watch. I plan to do it over Christmas, just so I can get caught up on like good Star Wars, like what some people define as like the pinnacle of Star Wars right now. But I digress. Changes for Galadriel's Ring of Power character. Hmm.
Oh, okay. Well, I think this will come up in our review, maybe what we think of her.
Yeah.
But
For what I will say is there needs to be some character growth. All right, I'll leave it at that.
because we already know the end product.
Yeah, we know where we go. We have 5 seasons to get there, and yeah, we need to start our way. We need to make progress.
Or of Durin and Disa's Rings of Power relationship.
Yes, yes. I don't need to go into it. They're great. I like these characters. I don't care about the beard stuff. I think these characters are fun. They're entertaining. I'll talk more about it in our review, but yeah, I would like to see more.
I mean, I think so because there's some politicking going on with his dad
Yep.
and them, so I think there's gonna be like a lot. There's a lot to explore there.
So this is going to come up in maybe a later episode review of our revisits, but I think we're going to see a mirroring of a bunch of different things. A lot of these cultures are going through a power shift, and this is one, and I think both of them need to play a big role.
She could be like a Lady Macbeth.
Exactly. So yeah, yes, that I need more of these guys. I know people have problems with certain characters, but what else are you gonna do? Like, you need these characters. They're one of the likable characters in the show.
Yeah.
Regardless of the dialogue, sometimes these characters, these actors are actually putting on a great performance, and they're fun. I have fun when they're on screen, and that's all I sometimes care about in the show.
Epic scale Middle Earth battle scene.
Oh,
Yes.
okay. I mean,
Eventually,
yes, but um,
Are you worried?
I
Like, don't turn this like the game.
Yeah. So
Battle
I am a
Star
huge Game of
show.
Thrones. I'm a huge Game of Thrones fan. I know what happens when you start focusing on the battles. I also know what happens when you do them well. Look at the original trilogy. When you do them well, they heighten every aspect of those movies to the point where scenes that shouldn't be emotional are emotional because of the battles and what they were able to visually show you. Um, we've talked about that at nauseum, so I won't get into it here. But yes, if they can get it right, awesome. But it's not. That is not this show as much as they tried to hype that up with the way they introduced Galadriel being this warrior princess. Um, there's a lot more politicking going on, which I think is for the better. And if they can get the action pieces down solidly, that just makes it better. So I'm a maybe depending on what we're talking about here. And yeah, that's it. So let us know down below what you guys think of this list, and is there anything else you want to add to this list of what you hope to see? I've already said kind of what I hope to see, which is kind of a mirroring of all these different races dealing with their own internal power struggles. And I want more. I want to know more about the stranger. Those are my two big things. Oh, and Sauron needs to show his power. He needs to do something that is that clearly shows, hey, this is a guy to be afraid of, because right now I'm not afraid of Sauron just yet. I'm still kind of confused as to his motives and why he did some of the stuff he did in the first season. So that's where I'm at. Anything to add? Anything you want to see in the season 2?
I mean, off the top of my head, just going through this list, the only thing that's not really mentioned here is Numenor and the Harfoots.
True.
So I don't know what
Oh,
else
I
to say
didn't
about
even mention the Harfoots. I completely didn't. You know what?
I want
So
to not see them.
that's yeah, you you got to it before I could. Um,
I'm actually not that extreme, but I think I th- I don't know what I like. Maybe you could see Poppy. Well, there's not. It doesn't feel like there's a lot to see there right now because Nori's the focus, and she's already watering off the stranger.
right.
Maybe I care a little bit about what's going on with Poppy.
I've come to appreciate the Harfoots a little bit more. So I will say, if they can find something interesting to do, let's get them some screen time. But it has to be worth it. Like, it can't just be because we met Poppy, we now follow her too. Like, she needs to do
Well,
something.
I don't understand why Poppy isn't going with Nori.
No, me neither. Because that was, I
Because
thought, the whole
this is Frodo and Sam, isn't it?
the first episode sets up what should be happening here, and they don't do it. So I don't know why they left Poppy behind. Like, I don't get it. I don't get it. So I'm confused about the Harfoots and what their place is in this story. And it's all okay. In a way, what they've done is set up a situation in which it's proved correct that Harfoots are too small for this world and they don't have any impact, because you're gonna have Nori doing some stuff with Saruman or whoever, and then the Harfoots are just middling around doing nothing. And it's gonna kind of like, because we keep cutting back there, it's not really clear. Anyway, I'm kind of confused.
I mean, maybe like Harfoot society just needs Poppy.
So that's
because Malva being in charge would be a disaster.
Oh yeah. I mean, they already were a disaster.
I mean, they were, but I know we're gonna do this in another series. But like rewatching it a little bit, like in hindsight, Sadek is a lot better than Malva.
Yeah.
Sadek, as bad as it was, him being gone, they're naked.
Yeah.
Like they have Malva, who's a total lunatic.
Actually, you know what? Maybe I said I want to see this power dynamic happen in all these different races. Maybe it happens here. Maybe that's why the Harfoots are going to stick around. We're going to see a power struggle within the Harfoot society. Which honestly, if it's entertaining and fun, I'm fine with it. I worry it's going to just kind of be comedic relief and not taken seriously, which defeats the purpose of the idea of hobbits in the first place. But that's a whole separate analysis that I don't want to get into just yet.
Yeah, that's it. I think. Yeah.
All right, so yeah, let us know down below if there's anything that was missed off this list or we missed. I'm trying to think. I don't think there's a character that we haven't mentioned yet, but anyway, let us know.
I mean, well, we didn't talk about.
Oh, yeah.
The king. Why am I bad with names? The king of the elves.
Elendil?
No. Oh, him too.
Elendil. We need to see more of him.
But I was thinking of.
Oh yeah, the king.
Gil-galad.
Gil-galad. Yeah. Well, so I thought that's the power dynamic that I think might happen with the elves, is either Elrond or Galadriel or some combination. They try to usurp that. Like, that's my thoughts there.
Gil-galad and Elrond. Oh no, the Elrond scene. Was Gil-galad there? Does Gil-galad know Galadriel's alive? Okay.
Yep. And there's those moments where Gil-galad keeps hinting to Elrond that you have to be like more tough love. Like, you can't let Galadriel like run around because she'll ruin everything. Like, there's this weird like joke that like he could have been Sauron just because of how almost menacing he is towards like what's going on, and I don't know. So I think that's gonna be a fun power dynamic there. So yeah, we kind of mentioned him in our elf segment. But yeah, that's it for this one. Join us next time. We are going to be revisiting episode 1 with a fresh set of eyes.